You say that it's under scholarly dispute among historians that Jesus actually existed. Now, I checked with the ancient historians. That is not so. And it disturbed me. History is not natural science. But what I don't understand is this, why you would write something like that.
I don't think it's a very important question whether Jesus existed. There are some historians, most historians think he did, some
They
historians
certainly
don't.
do. I couldn't find an ancient historian that didn't.
Well, there are one or two. When you look at history, and let's leave aside, maybe I alluded to the possibility that some historians think Jesus never existed. I take that back. Jesus existed.
Quote, "My main point is not the historical particulars, but the observation that skepticism can sometimes be as impervious to the evidence as the religious dogmatism it aims to undermine. They are often just a mirror image of each other. There is one section of the God delusion that demonstrates how odd popular debates about religion can be, in stressing the point that no evidence for God can be found in sacred writings. Dawkins quips that the only difference between the Da Vinci Code and the Gospels is that the Gospels are ancient fiction, while the Da Vinci Code is modern fiction. I will happily interpret such a statement as a rhetorical flourish, not one intended as a statement of fact. However, this cheeky aside appears hot on the heels of a statement that does present itself as a description of contemporary scholarship. It is even possible, Dawkins remarks, to mount a serious, though not widely supported, historical case that Jesus never lived at all, as has been made by, among others, Professor G.A. Wells of the University of London in a number of books, including Did Jesus Exist? To his credit, Dawkins acknowledges there isn't wide support for the case that Jesus never existed, but he nonetheless assures us that it is a serious historical case, and he cites a full professor from a highly respected university to bring the point home. G.A. Wells was a professor of German at London University. He did write a popular book back in 1975 arguing Jesus never lived, but he never pretended he had taught or even formally studied any of the relevant fields, whether classics, ancient history, New Testament, Jewish studies, or even theology. He was an expert in the language and literature of modern Germany. It must be asked, why would someone as educated as Richard Dawkins make such a controversial point by citing an expert from a irrelevant field? I cannot imagine he would let me get away with citing a professor of German as evidence that it is possible to mount a serious scientific case that biological evolution is fiction. As I understand it, these things have been brought to Professor Dawkins' attention in public debates, and I am told he concedes that part of his book maybe went too far, but readers of the 2016 10th anniversary edition of the God Delusion will find the claims there unchanged. End quote. From Dr. John Dickson, a historian, in this article, Why There's No Real Doubt About the Existence of Jesus, quoted in the description. So we find here that in a debate from 2008, Dawkins acknowledged dishonesty. He acknowledged going too far in his claims on the historicity of Jesus. Yet, years later, in a 2016 edition of his book, that claim remained unchanged. This doesn't bode well for the reliability or authenticity or even an attempted authenticity by Richard Dawkins. Clearly, he should stick to biology, as whenever he is addressing matters of faith, it is clear honesty and rigorous academic debate is not his forte. Christ is king, every knee will bow, absolutely.